If you needed proof that Boy Scouts could be badass, watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Believe me, your whole perspective of Boy Scouts will change. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I am going to be talking about Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Marvel Studios' 9th film that ties into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which means it ties into the whole Avengers fiasco. And yes, I'm going to be talking about it right now. So let's get into this. What is this movie about? What did I think about the movie, the characters, etc., etc.? Let's get into it. First, Captain America himself. He is in this movie. He returns. Steve Rogers is once again behind the mask, played by Chris Evans. And he is on this conspiracy theory about the government, or SHEILD, I should say, that has some bugs in the inside. And what can I say, man? Captain America in this movie, if you didn't get won over by him in the Avengers, believe me, this movie is the movie to do that. Captain America is a complete badass. From the opening sequence on the boat, you will already be won over by Captain America if you haven't already. This is just a badass movie, and it just proves how great of a character Captain America was. And I'm one of those people that, you know, I seen the first Avenger, I enjoyed it, but yeah, if I had to say at the time if Captain America was my favorite Avenger, I would say no. Same thing with the Avengers. You know, I seen the Avengers, we have Iron Man, we have Thor, we have the Hulk, and then we have Captain America, you know. Now, I wouldn't say he was the weakest in that movie, but I wouldn't say he was the most badass. You know, I think Hawkeye had some more badass moments than Captain America. But this movie, if you were disappointed by his last two outings, this movie will win you over. Like I said, he is just terrific, and Chris Evans just kicks ass. And if you thought he lost credibility when he did the first two Fantastic Four movies, which I think most people can agree he was one of the best parts about those films, is that he actually does a terrific job in this movie. He embodies everything that Captain America should have and brings it to the next level. We also have Black Widow in this movie, who returns to kick some ass, as well as Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury. We get to see a little bit more of them in this movie. Samuel Jackson reveals, you know, more character development in this movie, which is really nice for the character of Nick Fury, I think, that we get to see more of him and hear a little bit more about his past. Like, he tells a story in the elevator about when his father used to work in an elevator and what he had to go through and all that. That was pretty cool. It was nice getting Samuel Jackson more involved with the story of Captain America, I think. Black Widow, like I said, played by Scarlett Johansson once again. It's really cool to have her in this film and have her interact with Captain America. And I think both Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson really have this great chemistry that's on screen. And I know a lot of people have said that before in other reviews, but I have to say it too, because it's true. Their chemistry is just great. I think this is the best chemistry since, you know, since Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow in the first Iron Man movie. That's how great I think this chemistry is. I think there's a great friendship there, and I'm glad they didn't, like, get them to have a relationship together. I think it was great that they didn't, you know, that the producers and directors and writers didn't force that relationship and just had it as a friendship. And I like that. I like that you don't always need a relationship in a superhero movie, especially when it's not necessary. We have a couple of villains in this movie, which one of them turns out to be the Winter Soldier. He's the main villain, I guess you could say, of this story, sort of. Someone's kind of pulling his strings, and I'm not going to reveal too much about him, but he is a really great villain. I'm going to tell you that. He's very mysterious, and once you find out who he is, it brings a whole other dimension to this character. We also have Robert Redford, who is the head of SHEILD, like a higher rank than Nick Fury, who gives the orders. And Robert Redford is a legend in Hollywood, as a lot of people know. I'm going to admit, I haven't seen any other movie that Robert Redford is in. I know, I'm a horrible movie fan. What can I say? I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to rent a couple of Robert Redford movies one day and check it out to see why he's considered a legend. But I will say this, he is really good in every scene he's in. He brings a lot of weight to this film. Every scene he's in, when he's interacting with Chris Evans or Samuel Jackson, there's so much weight in those films, and you can see he has no trouble acting. This guy is definitely a legend in Hollywood, and I can see why just with the scenes that he has in this film. We are also introduced to a new superhero, Falcon, played by Anthony Mackie, who plays it really cool, man. I really like Anthony Mackie. Him I've seen in other movies before. And I gotta say, he is really great in this film. I love him. I think he's a great character. And I'm hearing rumors that he might pop into the Avengers, or maybe that's been confirmed by now. I don't know. And yeah, it's going to be great to see him again in other films because I think he really is a great character and fun. And it's great to see how realistic, they tried to make him. They actually found a plausible way to make this character. And I've seen the pictures of the comic book version where it does look pretty silly, his costume, but they made a costume that really feels like it could be part of this universe. And I think the character is really a lot of fun. And yeah, it's going to be great to see him in other films. The story of this film is a lot of fun too. Government conspiracy, you don't know who to trust, etc., etc. It's a lot of great twists in this film. A lot of great twists, and this really is the movie to shake up the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that's why I kind of urge people to watch this film, because this is the film that, if you watch the first Avengers, SHEILD was the one that founded the Avengers. They brought them all together. And now, in the next Avengers movie, SHEILD ain't gonna be around. Why is that? This is the movie that explains why SHEILD's not around anymore. Yes, you also have Agents of SHEILD, and this movie actually ties into Agents of SHEILD. There's a couple of episodes towards the end of Season 2 where, these episodes... at the end of Season 1, sorry guys, where this movie really shakes things up for them. And to me, that was actually where Agents of SHEILD started getting a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. And yeah, man, it's a great plot and great twists throughout that you'll have so much fun watching it. And it's definitely something that will go out as one of the best solo films. Aside from the Avengers, put the Avengers aside, this is probably the best solo film for a Avenger. This is definitely one you have to see. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is where Captain America is trapped in the elevator and he has to beat the crap out of all these guys, the SHEILD agents that are in there with him. And it's one of my favorite moments, especially when he jumps out of the elevator and has to head out towards SHEILD. He becomes a fugitive in this movie. It's really a lot of fun throughout. And, a lot of stuff with Scarlett Johansson and him hiding out in the mall, for an example. There's some fun moments throughout, too. It's not a dark and serious film. There's some serious moments, but there's still that Marvel humor that Marvel's good with, and that's why this movie is definitely worth checking out. So, guys, with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm giving Captain America, the Winter Soldier, a 9 out of 10. I really think this is a fun, great, serious film. This is a great film in general. This, to me, if you weren't happy with the first Avenger, you will be happy with this one. Believe me. This one is a great movie. It's very different from the first Avenger, where the first Avenger was more of a period piece movie, where it took place in the World War II. This one takes place in more modern times, so it feels like a more, modern type movie. And they based it off of those conspiracy type films. Like, I remember The French Connection was a movie that the directors mentioned as an influence to the film. So you will get that sort of spy thriller type of film in this movie. And it once again proves the idea that these superhero movies can fit in almost any genre if you really want to. We've seen sci-fi superhero films, we've seen crime thriller superhero films, and this one takes it to the next level by using a different genre once again. And I think that's why superhero films will continue to last. And once again, Captain America, man, the guy proves he's a badass. So if you haven't seen this movie, I totally recommend it. There's a lot of great Easter eggs in there for Marvel fans as well. And I'm sure if you're a Marvel fan, you've already checked out this movie and you love it like I did. And yeah, man, this was my second favorite movie of 2014. And I even enjoyed it a little bit more than I enjoyed it a lot more than Guardians of the Galaxy. And with that being said, guys, go and check it out. And that concludes my Marvel Cinematic Universe marathon. I finally reviewed all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, and I am ready for Avengers Age of Ultron, which is coming in less than 2 months. I'm so excited. And until next time, guys, take care.